Welcome to the next episode of the In Your City Show right here at the Lou Information Station, brought to you by our City Lifestyle, Chesterfield, Clayton, and St. Charles County City Lifestyle magazines. We directly mail them every single month, a new theme, a new magazine to 45,000 plus homes, not to mention the 3,000 plus businesses that we also send them to. A big shout out and a thank you to the amazing advertisers, our partners that are within the magazines that allow us to share their story, to share their message. And we do this all with sophistication and style every single month. We've had some beautiful people on our covers, beautiful businesses, events. Gosh, Pedal the Cause was already on last September, and they've just had their second event since then. There's so many amazing people we have met along the way. And of course, our recent, my new best friend, Billy Bush. He's just such a great individual and a hard worker. And we really got to know him. And whatever people are saying out there, it's like, come on, find something better to do. I don't know why people want to think they know somebody when they don't. You don't know somebody until you truly meet them and you're around them more than once, because they really show their true colors when you're with them. And what a hard worker and a kind individual that man is. So there's nothing you could say to change my mind on that. What are you going to say?
So if you want to hear more about us talking good about people, but you want to hear it in clarity, then go to the Lou Info app. It's off your App Store or your Google Play, and it's the KLIS Lou Info app. Get it, download it. You can listen to us live like right now, and you can hear us in clarity, or you can go back and listen to some old shows if you missed one and you just miss us that much.
Right.
Lou Info app.
Yeah. And then the louinfo.com, of course, that's where you can watch the show virtually, along with watching it on the In Your City Show channel. And you can
or if you follow us on Facebook, then you'll see it there too. It'll pop up when it's time.
Yeah. Follow us, like us, where you'll find our pages of our magazines and our show on Instagram and Facebook. And we truly love sharing what's going in our city. It's fun learning about it ourselves. And there's just so much. You live in a city your whole life and don't realize everything they have. So we appreciate that we get to do that here. Later in the show, we are going to shift gears and talk fashion and inspiration. We're going to talk with Becky Damyon. She is the St. Louis fashion director. Damyon, we'll get the correct pronunciation there. And speaking of fun speaker series and learn about that. But I want to talk about AI right now.
Uh-oh.
So my daughter sends this video of our bulldog, Olive, riding a skateboard. Olive doesn't ride a skateboard, although we're trying to teach her,
to get her
but she does not yet. And it's truly scary looking at AI, knowing that they can take any of us, our voice, and put us in a situation that we aren't technically in through AI. And so it's so cool what you can do with AI. It's such a helpful tool. It truly is, but it's also very dangerous because we don't know what's real and not real. So, AI videos, we're all watching them, right? We're watching them on Instagram. We're getting addicted to them, seeing these crazy things, sharks and people jumping off buildings, or, there's just endless things, and they look real. And it's harder for us to be able to tell what's computerized, generated, and what's really true, even with our own political beliefs. We're truly dividing people with these videos that are coming out, and we don't know what's real or not real. And everybody wants to give their opinion and fight over it.
Yeah, you heard me talk about even AI has a way to create music, top hit chart songs that's not even sung or done by an artist. It's just computer generated, and it's crazy. I told you about this. This guy that does this music podcast, and he talks about it to his kids, and they go, "Oh, listen to this song," and they go, "Dad, that's AI generated." Apparently, kids can tell it, but older adults can't hear it. So it has something to do with the way it sounds. There's like a little tweak in there that makes it, you can tell. But yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't know that. So, how do we tell if?
I know. Well, all you got to do is type a few words in, and artificial intelligence will take it and build a full video from just the words that you've put in there, complete with people talking, moving, even background noise and music. There's two companies, Sora 2 and Google's VO3, are creating clips that could easily fool your eyes.
Sora is what Carly sent the Olive skateboarding. That I saw the name Sora on there. First time I'd ever heard of it was seeing that video that came in. I mean, and that is scary. A recent study found that people only spot real versus fake videos correctly about 1 out of 4 times.
Wow,
So
that's
one
it?
out of four. That there's we've already seen deep fakes, celebrities, of course, and politicians. That's what's so scary, because you can really hurt someone's life
Oh, yeah.
and career putting a fake video up of them.
I wonder if there's ever going to be laws that come out that say if you were caught making a fake video of someone, and, it could be.
Wouldn't that be the same as when you're putting information about somebody on a website or social media? Not fraud. It's See, I told you.
What's the word? What's the
gotta
word
be
we're
Meg
looking for?
McMahon.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Defamatory.
I know what.
Okay. Well,
Defaming
you know,
someone.
but
Yeah,
everyone else,
defaming.
someone out there's going, "Hey, idiot! It's this word."
Good. Say it all out loud in your cars right now.
Right now, just get it off your
Because these
chest.
two goofballs that you're listening to can't figure it out. So apparently there's some things that you can tell, some little clues that you can tell, like shadows don't match, or lips don't sync with the words, or there's something off of facial expressions. You ever seen, like, you look in and you'll see like a video or a picture, and you'll look at it and the people in the background are kind of distorted looking.
That, and one that came on that I thought was true at first, it was someone disgracing and being ignorant to an older veteran. I'm like, what in the world? That doesn't even make any sense. And as you're watching it, the waitress who was supposed to be behind them, she walks right through a table. It's like, okay, that, obviously that was made very obvious. So there's an extra hand or an extra fin on the shark. I mean, there are things out that make it easy, but sometimes there isn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, another thing that they talk about, that if a video sparks instant outrage, you need to take a minute and see where it came from, because a lot of times
Before
we
you
get
share it.
right. Look for the watermark. Even you can run a reverse search on it. So there are ways, because we do get really upset.
That's
with some of
just
them.
what we need. More things
More
than they just
time,
do to make more work to see if something's real or not.
But isn't that sad?
Can I go
that we
back to
have
the
do that?
70s?
Oh my gosh!
I just want to go back to the 70s where I knew it was real, where I
We could-
knew it was.
We could go anywhere and do anything. Nobody could video it unless you're carrying around with
Yeah.
those big things on the shoulders. I mean, imagine where we'd be now. We probably wouldn't be on radio or where we are if there was video, because then again, we could be tarnished to make it. I mean, look at Martha Stewart. She went to prison. She's still kicking it.
I saw
An evil, mean woman. Even.
I saw J-Lo on Good Morning America today, and I mean, the woman's got a great doctor because she looks phenomenal. How old is J-Lo now? She looks young. She looked younger today than she did 10 years ago.
She's by the same age.
Probably all that hush money she got from Diddy.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Getting rumors going. All right. So I guess really what we want to say is, I guess you really do need, before you spout off, before you get angry and mad, before you do anything, you probably should, fact check if you're that interested or it upsets you, right? Or you wonder.
They make a tool, they make AI, which is cool. They make all these tools so you can make AI things. Now you got developers are building tools that can spot fakes. So now you got to download things to see if it's real or not. So it's kind of like where we are with our TVs today. It's like, if I want to watch the Cardinals, I got to download. Used to be Bally's, now it's FanDuel. And now it's like, I get for every little thing I want to watch, I got to download all these different apps. It's like they are controlling us. In order for us to see content, we have to download every little thing. And in order to get rid of content, we have to download more to get rid of it.
That's true. Are they making us idiots? Because we don't, AI can do so much for you.
Make a defamation
character. Our phones are, they call them smartphones so that we can be stupid.
No, they made us.
I don't know how to drive anywhere because I depend on my maps, or what do you call them now? They're Google Maps is what it was, but I'm not sure.
I will say the greatest thing ever is Life 360, because it will tell me it will help me get Kelley home when she's lost. It's like, well, you're on this
Again,
street, take a left.
because of a smartphone, I am an idiot now when driving. I let my phone
Kelley would
take me.
need an extra, if she would need an extra hour today if she had to use a map, because she'd be like, well, hold on. I need to use my map to figure out where I'm
I
going.
think it's like everything. I think the internet has been a great source, obviously, for many, many reasons. There's a lot of people making a lot of money off the internet, of influencers, but at the same time, I think we've lost touch to a lot of things because of it. There's such a drawback to everything that gets invented. I mean, I don't know what well, yes, I guess microwaves, that was an incredible invention, but now we're all being zapped with magnetic waves, heating up our coffee 52 times
that on
in the morning.
my hair on that. So.
I mean, so there are a lot. I mean, we just keep progressing and getting further and further with all these things. We're probably not as far as what I thought we would be, because I do remember being in 8th grade, modeling in a fashion show. We were wearing these space suits for the year 2000. We thought we'd all be living on the moon and be driving cars that, fly in the air. Back then, it
Didn't
seemed
we
like
talk
that.
about this once on our show, that if you could take a pill, would you rather go back in time, or would you rather go into the future?
I think I already know, so to speak, what our history books give us. I know what I've lived, which I've enjoyed. The only reason I want to go back is I want to spend time with my parents and grandparents again. I mean, that would be the reason for going back, and really enjoying those moments when you didn't have all these interferences that we have now. I mean, you left the house, There wasn't a phone with you. So you were in the moment all the time, back in our time.
Let's sweeten the deal a
But
little
I
bit.
would like to see, since I won't be here in the future, it'd be kind of cool to know what it'd be like.
But right now I don't even like where we are.
Yeah, it'd be terrifying, probably. I mean, it would definitely be. I think.
I mean, I don't like
scary.
I like some aspects. I don't like where we are, I should say.
Yeah. But then again,
now wait
a minute. When we watch movies, though, back in time, and we're like, wow, look at that stuff that really was going on. Look at what was happening. The thing was, there was a lot of bad
people were
things.
Smoking in hospitals.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there was a lot of bad things in the 60s and 70s, having a lot, but it wasn't shoved in our face because people didn't have video cameras to bring it to our attention every minute of the day. So I think we probably would have thought that was not such a great time either.
Spending time with people instead of being on our phones, instead of watching TV all the time, instead of being on the computer. We were spending time with people.
True.
Now let's change this. Now
there's a lot of bad going on.
Now let me add this to it and see if you'd go back in time.
Okay.
If you could go back in time, but you can't know what you know now, you have to go back in time as if you know.
No, that wouldn't do me any good. I don't
know nothing about the future.
No, I would have no desire to go back in time if I didn't know what it's like now, because you wouldn't appreciate it. You'd be just back in that time, living the same way again, not appreciating it.
Okay, now let's change that.
You'd be sick of those people.
You could go back in time. You could go back in time, not knowing what you know now, but the only thing that you would have different is to know that you should value your time with loved ones more.
Oh, stop it! You're just making it too googly goo goo. That's so.
No, I mean, no, it's like,
because you know, then I'm going back to spend time with those loved ones again. Then again, you got to go back knowing where you're at now, so you can really appreciate. You're not going to go back.
I would be mowing more yards, and I would be buying classic cars back then.
Again, you just said something you can't know. I would want to go back and know that time. I would want to know where I'm at now, so I could really go back and buy that Ford Mustang, that Chevy, whatever it is that, is worth a lot of money, of course. But I mean, I think that we would find, if we had the internet and things and phone cameras and videos, the 60s and 70s were just as bad as what it is right now.
I disagree.
You can only say that because you grew up we grew up in a bubble in the 60s and 70s. The news was on at 5 and 10, and your parents watched it, not you as a kid, unless you sat around the TV.
And journalism was so much different back then. Journalism, you were being told, I would say 90% of the truth in journalism.
You can't say that. You believe that because you only were able to see what they gave you. Believe me, the news was being bought back then just as much. It was who got the story in first and the best portion of it. You are so shielded by your bubble. You grew up with your mom and dad and your little easy Christian life. Oh, stop it. I'm telling you, I believe wholeheartedly, if we had the technical devices and the things that we have now, technology, thank you. Back then,
technological.
we would be appalled by what was going on around us. We were shielded from it. We were shielded. There were presidents being shot. There were things going on.
No,
they were all having
look
affairs.
At Kent State. Look at all of these things that happened back then.
Was when it came to being a husband, it was a dirtbag. I mean, and if you would have saw that in your face every day, like we heard Clinton or whatever, you would be mortified that this president people worship, how many things he did.
I think we forget that
the black and white, of being writing in the back of the butt. I mean, those are horrible things that went on.
I agree. Yeah.
But it wasn't, unless they made top news, that was not in our face. It was hidden because, you know, the way it was put out to news, there was a lot of things. I think what we're saying is,
I think
we lived in a time that we didn't get knocked with it continuously.
Yeah, but look, one thing I hate about the internet is that it has affected kids and the suicide rate, because kids are thrown out into public in front of their grade school and high school friends, and there's no way to escape that.
Right.
When we were kids, you know,
you got in a fight with 3 people.
The big redheaded 8th grade girl wanted to beat me up. You know, the only people that knew about it were the 12 kids in my class that nobody knows now. Right. So I remind everybody.
Everybody might.
So, but yeah,
so you're right on that.
That would have been all over the internet when I was a kid, and people would have made fun of me, and people would have said things, and it may have.
But bullying still happened.
It still happened, but it happened with, hey, I'm going to beat your butt on the way home from school.
It was dramatic back then.
But it was, but it was over with.
You would not like to go back to
it was over with, and it wasn't lingering on through the internet.
Right. And not all of that is, but I mean, yes, there's pros and cons with both. And I guess what I'm saying is, and I think some people would agree, that we think it was a wonderful time, and it was in so many ways. I mean, like we always say, you could have a party in the middle of the field and everybody found it, yet no one had a phone. There was a lot of fun times. It was very hard to get caught because there wasn't phones and video going on. Someone wasn't posting on Facebook, so we all got in trouble. But I'm just saying that we still live in a time of hardship and things that were going on politically and that are bad. It just, we weren't inundated with it. I think there was you could relax after 5 o'clock, you were done.
Let's rephrase that then. I think as a kid, it was simpler and easier as a child back then.
Yeah.
Than it is today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe not as an adult, maybe not of all the things that are going on that we just didn't see, but as a child, I think it was a simpler and easier time. My son says, I wish I would have lived in the 70s and the 80s.
And a lot of kids do. But parents were also allowed to spank other people's kids. So I don't know if that was such a good thing.
You know what? There's kids today that maybe other parents should spank their kids because they need it.
What was the meme the other day? Hey, so how do you like the kids now? Is timeout better or getting your butt whooped? Which one?
Yeah.
Which one is it? But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, we could go on and on and on. That is definitely pros and cons. And I think that I wish kids could grow up in a simpler time. I wish there was the ability, just like buying alcohol or, that you had to be 18 or 16 to drive, 18 to vote, 21 to drink. You almost wish there could be that legality from kids, that until they can drive, there's a parental, you can't get on social media, because they learn way too many things from social media. I mean, they're learning.
One thing I don't think is today, the sexual content is just over the top.
You had to accidentally find your parents'
Playboy magazine,
or the videos on wheel or not wheels, reels.
On reels.
We had to put it on the machine.
Oh, we talked about this before when you had satellite TV and you had to wait for it to be scrambled for like 1 second where you could see.
A lot was left to the imagination, and I don't think there's a lot left to kids' imaginations these days.
Seeing that it's almost Halloween. I remember watching like Channel 11 late at night, and you'd watch the old Dracula movies, and all you saw was the beer baron girl with behind the bar, and her, breast would be like the cleavage would be that was the most you saw as a kid. Yeah.
Well, I want to give a big shout out before we take it to break is to the St. Louis Closet Company. We appreciate Jennifer Williams being a part of our show. every day. If you haven't been to St. Louis Closet Co, we always love when someone's on the show and we're talking like, oh, I had my closet, down there, or my kitchen redone, or my garage or mudroom, whatever it is. They do it all. If there's a room or a place in your business or your home that you can't find anything, there's not enough room to be able to store anything in it. It doesn't matter if it's too small or it's too large. St. Louis Closet Company is going to be able to take you from that chaotic feel to an organized feeling right away. They do everything on site within their facility. You can actually go in there and see them actually working. You can watch the progress of your transformation being taken place right there on site. She has an incredible team. They've never missed an appointment. You are their number one priority, and that's why she has won so many awards with 35 years in business. She is local and she supports local. She is all about local. Right now, they'll be starting their toy drive soon. They are the largest toy drive in St. Louis. It might even be larger than that, in collecting toys for those kids that are in need during the holidays. So we appreciate you, Jennifer. We appreciate that you're locally manufactured. We appreciate that you are a local woman-owned business and that you are here let's see, 6 days, 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
I say that and I'm like, I feel like she's there every day. But give them a call, go out there. They'll take care of you firsthand. We appreciate you. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, we're going to take it to a break. Don't go anywhere, because we are going to find out all about some fashion things that are going on here in St. Louis. Plus, also there's a great new live art market that is coming up. Actually, I think something starts tomorrow and then goes through October. So we're going to talk about all the great things that are happening through, let's see.
Looks like October 8th.
Nope, it goes through
right.
October. If it starts October
Okay.
8th is what it is. So I'll let you know about some fun things there too. So we'll be right back here on the In Your City Show, right here at the Lou Information Station. Welcome back to In Your City Show, right here at the Lou Information Station. Don't forget, you can put that app on your phone. Go to the Lou Information, look for the KLIS. Put on your phone, just click the button. You can listen anytime from anywhere in the world and listen to the show. And of course, louinfo.com. Always, you can watch us virtually, so that'd be fun as well. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at In Your City Show, and we'd love if you subscribe to our channel, even better. So let's take it to fashion. I love fashion. So we are going to be talking with Becky. And Becky, is it Damyon?
It's Damyon, yes.
Damyon. Oh, I like that even better. You said it much better.
Yeah.
St. Louis fashion director, coming to us about this Speaking of Fun speaker series. But before we get into that, as the executive director of the St. Louis Fashion, I'd love to know what the Fun's mission is all about. Tell us about the creative vision and the nonprofit facet of it.
Yeah, and I'm fairly new to the nonprofit space because I started in January. My day job, I'm the senior vice president and market manager of Odyssey St. Louis. So I do, I'm in media and radio. And so this was really a volunteer project for me that turned into a side job, but it's been amazing. And I think, by the way, Kelley, I love your outfit today. And I can tell you love fashion. It's fabulous.
I love yours, and I love your jumpsuit that you have on in your picture. I'm like, great fashion style there.
Thank you so much. And so, I started as a board member and a volunteer because I've always loved fashion and I wanted to use it for good and be philanthropic about it. And at the Fashion Fund, we were created to really be the leading advocate and voice for, our 800, St. Louis related fashion businesses. And we have such a rich history in St. Louis when it comes to fashion, specifically fashion manufacturing back in the day. That's why the garment district existed on Washington Avenue. You can drive down Wash Ave and still see buildings that, like the International Shoe Company building that have those markings still on them. And I think moreover, when we look at today, we have so many creatives and designers and fashion professionals and students. And I think our long-term vision is to just be a destination again for fashion, not only in St. Louis, but I think, in the Midwest at large, because I am a big advocate of St. Louis and have been being in the media for, 17 years and working downtown. And when that happens, the city becomes better, right? And we grow and we get more good news and good press about what we're doing. But really that's kind of like the moonshot, is to make this a destination. When it comes to the day-to-day, there's really three distinct communities that we serve, and that's students. And we do that by giving students fashion scholarships and doing different programs with them from a networking standpoint, such as Fashion Futures. We also help brands and fashion professionals, and we have so many amazing, established, and emerging designers right here in St. Louis. And so it's shining a spotlight on them to make sure that people know about them in and outside of our area. And then it's the community at large. And that's why we do the Speaking of Fashion series and the event coming up at Washington University. We want to create events that really activate the community around fashion so we continue to get back to being that destination. So,
wow. I think that's so important. I heard you say the word again, because remember, it used to be that you're going to the city to go shopping.
Yes.
That's where you're going to find your best brands and learn. And so what do you think? What happened? Like, what do you think happened to the fashion industry that we are that I love Mary?
Yeah, she's
what do you think
awesome.
happened, and what are we having to do? I think the big part that you said is you're working with the students, because
Yes.
that's what we have to do. We have to teach the kids so they understand what fashion is about, the importance of it. I know people sometimes think of fashion as I want to be a model, but there's so much more to it.
Oh my goodness, there's so much more, especially in the world of social media. Look at how many fashion influencers are out there, right? And the industry just keeps changing and evolving and growing. And this is a very personal thing to me, because my oldest son's 18, and he's interested in a career in fashion, and he's actually done some modeling and done some different things, but is more interested, I think, on the design side. And it is about making sure that we take care of our up and coming young people, our students, and making them feel supported. I think that, for example, just to tell a personal story, I think as a professional woman in, the media business, for a while, I was kind of scared to share my love of fashion because I thought it would be surfacey or frivolous. And I think sometimes a young person might feel the same way. And so it's showing them and showing their families the network and the array of careers that are available to them. I mean, we did a Fashion Futures event at Neiman Marcus, which was that picture that you just showed on the screen. And all of the different companies based here in St. Louis that have amazing jobs and amazing careers in fashion, that's our Fashion Futures event, is just astounding. And to give students and their families an opportunity to really meet and interface with those people so that they can truly understand what's available to them right here in our backyard. So I think we have so much to offer, and I think it starts with that. And that's why this year we did our first ever Susan Sherman Fashion Scholarship. And we gave 4 Missouri students a $5,000 scholarship. And we just want to continue to grow upon that and create like really good programming to help nurture and support our students. So those are the 4 winners from this year. Yeah.
So for those that may not know, how did who is Susan Sherman?
Susan Sherman is the woman in the middle. She is our chair and co-founder of the St. Louis Fashion Fund. And she has been operating the Fashion Fund for the last decade. So she, helped create what we are today. And so in her honor, on the 10th anniversary, we created a scholarship fund in her name.
I always find it amazing, some of the fashion shows, either that I've been a part of or have put on or been to, and you see these designers and the creativity that they have and the passion and the love of textile and the feel of the material. And there is such a difference in the quality of merchandise when it is created by those that really know what they're doing. I mean, look at the movies, look at the creators. Like, is it Halston that recently that movie was out with Halston?
Yeah.
I mean, we see these products and we think of high fashion, expensive items, quality. They're in New York and, on your streets that, Rodeo Drive or things like that. And they started out somebody just trying to make it, penciling, drawing something, and then, look what they have brought, Oscar de la Renta, that they have brought to the forefront that we've grown on.
Yeah, and I think that is exactly a great segue into why we do the Speaking of Fashion series, because Michael Kors, he has connections to Belleville. Look at like Carly Kloss, supermodel from Diane von Furstenberg used to come to St. Louis to sell to the department stores here. And she started off, at the same level that all of these kids and designers started off at. Wes Gordon, who is the creative director of Carolina Herrera, who just had a fabulous show in Madrid, is coming here, and he's from the Midwest. So these stories are and there's Wes Gordon, and he's from the Midwest. So like these stories inspire.
Don't we?
Yeah.
We forget that these people were just like these young kids that with this passion and desire to be creative and show, and then look where they are. And sometimes that's so great about what you're doing, because you're telling them they were young once too with a passion. You can do this.
You can. And it's hard, but it's work. But I think that's why this work is so important, to give these kids a connection and these designers a connection to somebody like that right here at Washington University. I mean, I remember going as a board member and I was just blown away. And Diane von Furstenberg talked about, she really inspired me just as a professional. She talked about, hey, connect somebody to somebody else every day that could change their life. Like if you can make one connection to somebody,
we do.
And connect with somebody else. Yeah.
We do.
We do.
I feel like we do that every day.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I think I'm doing that, but I need to be more intentional about doing that. And I really have tried to make that like a practice, because we all need those connections. We can't do it all by ourselves, right? So somebody has to help us. And that's why I'm really proud of like the network and the community that we've created.
Do you have a personal story, or maybe of one of the young youths that has been totally transformed or inspired by what you all are doing out there? Something to share with us?
I mean, absolutely. I think a local success story is a designer whose name is Audra, and she was in one of those pictures with Michael Kors, and she started in the initial incubator program with Susan Sherman. When the Fashion Fund there's Audra right there, first started out, and I saw her picture, so it kind of reminded me. And she was not from St. Louis and decided to come to St. Louis and be a part of the incubator and start her business here. And she has a beautiful space right on Clayton Road, an amazing clientele. And I think she's a designer example that, we're really proud of. There's several others too, of just like people that we've connected with, and we've connected them with other people. I think on the scholarship front, just having conversations with those students and seeing like what that scholarship does for them, and talking to their parents about the difference it's going to make in their trajectory, and how I honestly think that's going to help them stay in that path. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That support, I think, is just really inspiring. But no, Audra is always the first success story from a designer that comes to mind. And she's got a beautiful store and she does amazing work. So
I've been in there and sat down with her. Absolutely. You're correct there. How do you think the fashion world is constantly evolving? What changes do you see shaping in the next 5 years, especially in terms of sustainability, technology, and diversity?
Yeah, I think sustainability is something that continually comes to my mind, and not just in the realm of buying new things. I think we are really starting to see a lot happen in the fashion tech space. So when people are looking at a lot of different fashion careers, I went to a Fashion Group International Award ceremony in New York City this last spring. And to see some of the things, like there was an award ceremony for innovation and tech and like best designer and all these different things. And it was really cool. One of our local designers, Shanna Britta, was nominated for one of these awards. So I went along with her. And there are people really focused on the online kind of sales process and returns. So when we think about sustainability, it's not just about clothing that we see in landfills. It's like the enormous amount of returns that a retailer takes in and all the time and energy and cost and waste that's associated with that. So it's about using tech and using AI to get the right fit, to make sure people are returning less, to make sure people have a better experience. And I think that's really interesting because I think it's like a frontier that a lot of different people aren't thinking about. And I think it's good for the consumer and it's good for the brand, right? It's good for the consumer if they have, I mean, how many times, Kelley, have you ordered like 5 sizes of something? You know what I mean? Or like, you're like, I have a deadline. I got this thing to go to, whatever. And a lot of our designers they do brick and mortar, but they're doing direct to consumer too. So that's something I feel like affects everybody. And I also think vintage just continues to grow. And in St. Louis, we have some amazing vintage curators. And I am seeing, especially with my son and other people that are in his generation, they don't want things that look like everybody else. I personally don't. And just like leaning into, the uniqueness and the specialness of those pieces. I'm just seeing a lot more in that space. So,
and I think men's design too. Gordon, he's a man who loves fashion, and I think a lot of times the men get lost that, they need to be more on the forefront. It's nice to hear, I don't know what your son's specialty or what he loves the most, but I think that we're seeing a lot more men's clothing and fashion and stores and designing, like MG and
you mentioned I was gonna hit you up on that, on the tech side of it and the different types of job and career opportunities there are for the tech side of fashion. But one thing, do you feel like it's missed though? I know people buy so much online, but do you feel like that's missed, being able to just walk in and try something on and see how you actually look in it?
Or them tailoring
it to fit you. Like, I go to certain places to get my suits made and they're tailoring it and they're fixing it. And I remember he had this machine that I would sit on and it spun me around and he could see my body, which I wish I wouldn't have seen, because then it's like, it shows you how exactly your form of your body is. But I mean, do you feel like that's missed in the industry, because you talked about the so many returns, to where people actually get to feel the experience of just walking in and getting something tailor made and be right there?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think that I have to keep doing the work that I'm doing, because we can't abandon the human experience. I mean, you guys are in the business of connection and so am I. And I got to tell you, I also think going to brick and mortars creates brand discovery. If I walk into I might discover a brand or a designer that I didn't know about before, because there's so much out there, right? There's so many, the retail landscape has changed so much. So many brands are going out there to try to do it on their own and sell directly to us through Facebook, Instagram, all these different methods. And I have found that I have created a love for my favorite brands through just kind of like random happenstance. Like I'm just walking down a road shopping at these different places and I bump into something. And I do think absolutely there's a specialness in that I think, and I do see my son and people his age doing that with vintage a little bit, right? Or like discovering these different things by going thrifting and going to, vintage markets and things like that. But yeah, as a core Gen Xer, I love shopping in person. There's nothing like that, right? That's super.
What do I call it? It's my counseling, my
therapy. It's my therapy. Yeah, it's mine too.
I think I need some therapy. I must go shopping.
It's so true with anything in life, because we actually talked about this maybe even with record albums. I said, how many songs are missed because we hear a song on the radio, we just buy that song because we can do that now. We can just download that song. When I was young, I'm so much younger than you, but when I was young,
older.
We had
You're so much older.
That's right. But when I was younger, we had record albums, and there were so many songs that became hits because we listened to the whole album. And today we don't do that. So it's the same way with fashion, with what you're saying, brand awareness, things that you miss that you've seen by just walking in a store and go, ooh, I didn't see that. I didn't know they had that. So great point.
That's probably why Taylor Swift just did what she did too, was that record, with her new album. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the orange sparkly.
We talk about
it.
We talk about
it. We talk about it. Travis Kelce song.
that people are like listening to. Like the you know, the numbers on Spotify are showing that they're listening to the whole thing, which is really, that's an
33
anomaly.
million.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
biggest ever. Well, let's make sure before we run out of time,
Yeah.
let's understand and know what the Speaking of Fashion speaker series is about.
Yep.
Can we be involved? What's going on there?
Okay, speaking of fashion, November 18th, it's in partnership with Washington University and Caleres. It is a talk by Wes Gordon, the creative director for Carolina Herrera. It is going to be at Graham Chapel. It seats 800 people. Our GA tickets, which are free tickets, there's Wes, are sold out, but you can go to stlouisfashionfund.org, and we still have VIP tickets and sponsorships available for purchase that also include tickets. So the free tickets, we provide a certain amount to the public, sell out. I think this year they sold out in 16 minutes. There will be a live stream component as well that you can find on our website for those that aren't able to attend in person.
And what is that website, Becky?
stlouisfashionfund.org. And it's Saint spelled out SAINT.
Okay, great. We'll make sure that's listed up there as well. And how many years has this speaker series been going on? Is this the
Oh
first
my
year? Has it been
goodness.
for many years?
No, this is first of many years. I think it's been since maybe a year after the Fashion Fund's inception, 10 years ago, they've started this. They've had Andre Leon Talley. They've had several different celebrities and designers come in. I have been a part of the last two, Michael Kors and Diane von Furstenberg.
Gosh, good for you. If someone wants to be involved with the St. Louis Fashion Fund, is there something they can do? Do you look for volunteers? Or there opportunities for people that might want to be involved?
We do. We look for volunteers. We also have internships every year as well. We go to our website and just email us at the email address on the website to find out more about opportunities.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for, bringing this to our attention, allowing other people to learn about it. These young designers that are trying to establish themselves today have an opportunity to be a part of something, to know that everything they're doing is so valuable and that they can live their passion. So we appreciate it so much. It's like, gosh, to know that, that there's 800 businesses contributing more than 7.7 billion to the St. Louis region area. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I mean,
yeah,
it is incredible. Becky Damyon, thank you so much for spending some time with us and sharing the fashion world with us. It's such a fun place to be, and there's so many different looks and styles, and everything goes. Just know how to wear it.
Yep.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it and hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Gosh, the fashion world is really a cool area to be. I mean, we've been to a few fashion shows together,
Yeah,
haven't
in
we?
fact, when we first started dating, you took me, Tom Hannigan had a fashion
Oh,
show at the airport.
At the airport. That was the
Yeah.
strangest place, but they used that to have it. It was at Maristar, I think, the year before, and then they changed directions to try something new. But it's really cool to see someone come down that runway and show their stuff off. All right. Well, we want to make sure that you know that the Missouri Historical Society will host a special I Am St. Louis night. It kicks off, October 8th, that's going to be taking place. The live art market returns to the inaugural fall season, which that is October 8th. I mean, there are some great events that are going on. I Am St. Louis night, which I just said, the St. Louis Civic Pride night. There's a trick-or-treating at the City Foundry. It's very family focused. There's going to be an adult focused Halloween party at the City Foundry. It's going to take place October 29th. I mean, you can win cash prizes at it with the best costume. So take a look at what's happening. You can find out through Explore St. Louis. Of course, you can go to the City Foundry website, find out what's going on, in your area in October. There's so many fun things that really take place during the fall. We're going to be going to the Halloween party, I guess, a Carbon membership, being a part of that, getting our groove on. In fact, I need to get our fashion costumes going for that. Yeah. All right. Well, until our next show, our next episode of the In Your City show, as we always say to you, first of all, we hope you enjoy every minute, even if your personality is gone like mine is. You can get it back with all the great things in your city that we have to offer. So until our next episode of In Your City show.